Well, welcome everybody. Good morning. Happy Tuesday to you. My name is David Summers. I am one of the territory managers for Verkada. I am joined with Paul Hager from Alevity, and today we're going to be walking you through some information demo, really focusing on reopening facilities, making it safe and comfortable, when people are coming back into the office. And we have a couple things we want to give to you here for one or the other for your time. For you guys spending 45 minutes or so with Paul and myself, we want to give you either a Verkada Rambler or an Amazon gift card. But in order to receive that, you need to stay on for the duration of the webinar, complete a post-webinar survey, must provide a valid work email address and shipping address, and must be based in the US, UK, or Canada. I don't think that should be a problem. Please note the Ramblers may take 3 to 4 weeks to get out to you, and gift cards may take up to 2 weeks to arrive. So please, if you want the gifts, please stay on for the duration of the session and go ahead and fill out that webinar survey. A little bit about our agenda here. I'm going to turn it over to Paul shortly, give a little bit of background on Alevity. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the pillars around evaluating your organization's COVID strategy and back to work. We're going to talk a little bit about Verkada, the differences of our platform versus a more traditional way of CCTV, video security. Then we're going to spend a majority of the time in the demo, and then we're going to save time for Q&A at the end. So hopefully that looks good for everybody. Hopefully you're all in the right place with us. And Paul, I'll turn it over to you, my friend.
Sure. Thanks, David. So good morning, everybody. My name is Paul Hager, Director of Solutions here at Alevity. Thanks for joining us this morning. We're excited to share some content with you, around return to work, but also around the improvements to modern physical security. One of the things that Alevity does for our clients is that we have what we call an emerging solutions committee. And that committee meets as we review and evaluate the solutions that are part of our line card, part of our go-to-market strategy, both for our fully managed customers, kind of what's included in our standard user offering for managed services, as well as some of our technology solutions as a part of our mid-market group. We had the opportunity to have Verkada join us for our sales kickoff here recently, and Peter and team did a fantastic job. Peter and our organization has worked together for much longer than this year, and we're just immediately intrigued by the cloud first strategy to solve a problem that a lot of our clients are facing, and this part of the network that really isn't as modern as the rest of the network. So when you look to us, you look to us to be experts in your strategy, security solutions, and support. And that's the basis of our name, is elevating your security. And I think it's just a really logical partnership and a really unique offering. And when you get to the demo part, I think those that haven't had a chance to see Verkada's technology, I think will immediately see why Alevity chose Verkada as a partner. Their cloud first approach, their platform that they are building cloud technologies around, really is directionally where we think that the industry is going. And that's what you rely on us to help you choose and provide directional companies and organizations and technologies that are going to work together to provide that great strategy. And in this case, physical security. We often talk about network security a lot, but as you hear Verkada's story and how their organization came to be, I think it'll be clear why our solutions committee joined a partnership with Verkada. So thanks everyone for joining, and I promise you, not only is the content good, but the demo in particular, every time we see it, not only are there new features in it, but it continues to be a really strong offering that I think is going to have some features that'll blow you away. So thanks for joining us again this morning, and David, back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. Thank you so much. I would say, working with Alevity has just been a breath of fresh air. I think with a solution like Verkada, my background is really cybersecurity, but finding somebody like Paul, his team, and that emerging technologies team, modern solutions like Verkada definitely require, modern partners. And this is a very powerful match. team can help, Alevity can help, you out there, consult, design, fulfill, and install Verkada and make sure it's just a seamless process. So really happy to be here today. So talking a little bit about Verkada, talking a little bit about, 5 pillars that when I talk to my customers, some of the biggest companies around in the Midwest, kind of doing a poll here with them. These are really kind of the 5 elements what they find, not only just with the modern security solution, but some really tangible things they can get out of leveraging Verkada for getting people back into the office. And as we kind of walk through these 5 things here today, I'll highlight them throughout the demo. And I think it's very powerful to see how easy it is to use, how intuitive it is to use, and how you don't need training on some type of, complex software package. I would say if a former software salesman like myself can walk through this platform, anybody can. So a little bit about Verkada, just a little background here before we hop into the demo. We're the fastest growing physical security company in the world. We're headquartered out in Silicon Valley. We have just over 500 employees. We have global teams across Europe, over in Asia, about to expand down into South America. And unlike traditional security companies, we were founded by a group of computer scientists. This is really different than a lot of other folks out there. One of our founders is Hans Robertson. He was one of the co-founders of Meraki that sold that business to Cisco back in 2012. And so he's done this before. He's done this on a global scale. He's disrupted a whole industry that was in the wireless networking space. Now he's brought it to physical security. When him and the other founders got together, they had the goal of building the most modern enterprise security platform possible, right? What that really means for you and your organization is no unnecessary hardware, no NVRs, no servers, no thick clients, no additional software you need to constantly, care and feed, if you will. We've literally redesigned video infrastructure from the ground up. We put the entire VMS right in the camera, and our unmatched hybrid cloud architecture, right, has really given a way to disrupt an industry that hasn't been disrupted in 30 years. And, our platform is called Command. We're going to hop in there shortly. A couple things to note about us: we design all of our hardware and software in-house, right? All of our cameras are manufactured, over in Taiwan using a US-based Umbrella chipset. I mean, we have some of the best software designers out there, and I think you're going to see that, right? Just the delightful experience that we offer. But we're constantly investing into our platform. We're releasing new features and functionality on a consistent basis, and we're not charging for the new features and functionality, right? If you're a customer, right, you're always going to have the latest and greatest with us because we're always automatically advancing firmware and software updates, as well as security patches over the air. Nothing you have to do, no scheduling to go ahead and do these manual updates. We're taking care of all of that for you. And when you take a step back of that, it's really a different approach than the traditional way where other solutions are literally walking towards end of life, where Verkada is constantly getting better. That, and along with our 10-year warranty, make our total cost of ownership extremely straightforward. Here on this screen, you can kind of see kind of where the vision is going. With Verkada, we really want to be the operating system for your entire smart building, right? And so I think what's really great about that is today we have video security. That's all that was here when I started. We have access control as well as environmental sensors, right? And moving into other places throughout the business. And really at the highest level here, the cloud allows us to connect a lot of different devices into the same central management platform, and really allows you to scale, right, for all of your video surveillance needs as well as your physical security needs, right? So we really believe the future of smart buildings, smart schools, smart hospitals, smart facilities is right here with Verkada. So when you look at how the old way of doing things, CCTV setup is, I got it here up on the screen, kind of hurts my head looking at it, right? You have a number of different types of camera manufacturers out there. And at the end of the day, cameras get, wired into a switch, wired into an NVR. And then if you want to be able to view that, typically you have a dedicated monitor, some type of local PC with a thick client on it, and it's a very cumbersome process to keep up these integrations. Not to mention the NVR is a single point of failure for all your cameras. And not to mention the NVR is one of the most dangerous pieces of equipment to own in your IT stack from a cybersecurity perspective, right? Now you're also dealing with servers, for extra storage, you're dealing with routers. And now if you want to view this footage not on site, you're dealing with clunky VPN processes. We've even seen people open up and forward ports, which is obviously a cybersecurity person's nightmare. And so this architecture and the way it's been for so long is why we're having so much success, and you'll see that here shortly, right? And I think when you look at the access control piece, it's very similar to the cameras, right? You get individual readers tied back to individual controllers, and then they tie back into a master controller. Same thing as the NVR, single point of failure, right? And so, I mean, if you thought some of the VMS software was bad to deal with, when people are looking at their access control software, a lot of it hasn't been updated since the early 2000s, right? So again, people have to go ahead and mirror these type of infrastructures across all of their sites, right? And we think there's a better way. We think there's a better way than dealing with the Windows server, a SQL database to house all the credentials for access control. And what we went ahead and did was we went ahead and modernized all of this with a hybrid cloud approach, right? What we've done is we took the best of both edge surveillance, edge computing, and the cloud, right? I mentioned earlier, we've upended everything around the camera, how we go to market, how our pricing is, our warranty, our support, all of that, right? We put the storage actually on the camera with a solid state drive built into it. And we're recording every piece of footage the camera sees, whether it's for 30 days or up to a year's worth of footage. And we're constantly recording, 24/7 at 24 frames per second. So we're not missing anything, right? Now, even with the cloud involved here, we don't need to upload all the footage because of that SSD. So that means we keep our resting bandwidth for each of these cameras down to about 20 kilobits per second. You can scale these cameras out with absolutely no worries about the impact to your network. We're just pinging encrypted metadata and thumbnails to the cloud. And basically what the cloud is there to do is to provide management as well as remote viewing, right? So accessing the footage is very simple. You can do it from any computer, any browser, right? And you can do it in a secure manner. We also have an awesome mobile app I'll go ahead and show you here in a moment. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry about that. Wow. Oh God. My apologies, all. This is not what I intended.
You don't want to go through your inbox with us in the middle of your webinar?
Pass.
Pass? Or we could maybe collaborate on your email and get some answered for you.
That'd be nice. That would be nice. Oh,
we got to get Verkada over to Windows devices where they just can't get confused by screens because it's very simplified.
Well, goodness gracious. The best part is that I'm a longtime Windows user, first time Mac user. And, you think for somebody who sold technology for 15 years, I'd be better at it, right? Wow. Well, anyways, back to talking about the mobile app. Hope everybody's got a good chuckle out there with it, right? I am human and I am doing this live, but being able to access, the footage, whether it's on a tablet, your phone, wherever it may be, very simple, very secure, right? From that perspective. And really, I would say one of the best things about us is we provide a secure, scalable, cost-effective solution for the organization, as well as a delightful, secure experience for the end user, right? And now we talk about security for a minute, right? We have the unique ability to tie into Active Directory. We have the unique ability to tie into single sign-on, SSO. So, along with network security being top of mind when we built Verkada, every piece of data that the camera records is going to be encrypted at rest and in transit, so your data is safe. But again, being able to tie into single sign-on or Active Directory, as well as we have multi-factor authentication directly out of the platform, right? We're here to make it secure. We're here to make things secure for your organization and not allow people to access things that they shouldn't, right? So we use Okta here at Verkada. A lot of customers use G Suite. They'll use Azure AD, a lot of other single sign-on services, they'll work with, SAML authentication. A little bit here about our environmental sensor. These have been such a great addition to our platform here. So the sensor measures a number of different things from temperature, humidity, vape index, noise level, motion, air quality, a few other things I'll show you in the demo. But again, these are cloud-based, looks kind of like our cameras, but they're not. And then you can tie directly in with our video integration, just like our access control can. Lots of reasons why folks love us, really, because we're easy, we're smart, we're scalable. We have over 5,000 customers, 40 of the Fortune 500. Some I like to point out here is like Okta, a leader in identity and access management. they're, near and dear to my heart because I worked for them for a couple of years building out a territory for them in the Midwest. We have people like Square, a leader in PCI compliance, right? Like these are folks that had us, go through their pen tests, have ship them out cameras, them try to, break it. And we're, so secure that they trust us to run on their network. Some customers in the local area that I work with in Wisconsin is like Clarios, TDS Telecom, Wauwatosa Schools. Up here in Minnesota, we have Deluxe Corporation, United Health Group, right? And these are some pretty massive installations, thousands of cameras, out there running on their network. So with that being said, I want to offer up a chance for everybody on the webinar to go ahead and text your work email address to this number. Kenzie will go ahead and send you out a live link, right? With Verkada, this is something really special that we're able to do, is share live links of not only cameras, but of floor plans. So you can go ahead and give situational awareness to first responders. In the case of today's webinar, what's lovely is that you don't have to look at a video camera of a Zoom through your computer, and you just get a little bit clearer view of it, and you can kind of follow along, and then keep it open for, I believe, 24 hours or so is what we give you access to. So I'll let this be up here for about another 30 seconds or so, and then we'll hop right into the demo. Or possibly my email if we want to collaborate on it. So another 10 seconds or so. Awesome. And then I don't know, maybe Kenzie, if you could put that number in the chat and we'll keep going since my...
It's in the chat box now.
Oh, beautiful. Always one step ahead of me. We do offer free trials. So if you guys like what you see, we'll have a place where to get information afterwards, after the demo. But, keep in mind, these are full-blown, Verkada cameras. It's not like Verkada Junior or anything like that. We want to get these in your hands. We want to get you guys to try them out. We want the feedback from the marketplace, and we think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. So with that being said, let me hop in here to Verkada Command. We use Okta, like I said. I have multi-factor authentication when I log into Okta just to save a step. But when you go ahead and log in here, this is going to be what David Summers sees, right? And so we'll get into access a little bit later. But one beautiful thing about what we do is we're able to provide granular, whether it's individual or group permissions, based on people's roles at the organization, so they can see, what cameras, what sites, and have certain permissions to, view footage, share footage, and all of that. When you log in here, you see I have 20 sites, access to 61 cameras. Click on the map here for a second. You can see we have Google integrated maps. You can see where all of our cameras are here, really across the world. I'll kind of highlight in here, by our headquarters, you can see all of these green circles. That means the cameras are operating as they should. We're very proactive, right? We realize not everybody has got eyes on glass 100% of the time. So we want to let you know if a camera, is offline, if there's a tamper event or an occlusion event, right? And we'll go ahead and you can see that up in the notifications tab, get it emailed, get a text message like, hey, there's something happening with your camera. You may want to go take a look at it. If there is something wrong with your camera, you can go ahead and you can click on down here with the help button. We have support built right into our platform. So long are the days past of having to call up an integrator, have them, basically charge you $1,000 to grab a set of keys, come out next Thursday between 10 and 4, right? We're able to fix 99% of our support tickets, 30 minutes or less, just the way our architecture is and how it's designed. Support folks, these are camera experts, security experts, network experts, versed in Verkada. And then if there is something that we can't do, I mentioned a 10-year warranty earlier. If we can't fix something, we'll go ahead and send you out, drop ship you a camera. You'll have in the next 48 hours. You simply, once these cameras are plugged into Cat 5 or Cat 6, that's all they require over PoE, plugged into a PoE switch. You type in the serial number, wherever the camera was going, off you go. If you have a new installation or you're bringing up a new site, you can type in an entire order number. These cameras, when they're plugged in and they're online, will self-calibrate, and that's literally all you need to do. So you can hop around and see different cameras here. We'll hop into the floor plans. And this is really some of the first places here where I'll start about these 5 pillars, right, of being, prepared and how to respond with the COVID strategy. You can see some heat mapping right here. How people use that is for occupancy tracking. Where are people moving right now throughout the facility? So you can drop in different locations, different floor numbers here as well. From a historical heat mapping perspective, a lot of my customers are using this right now for cleaning and sanitation. So you can see this is the past hour where people have been. No secret, people around the stairwells, people around some of the different doors here. There's not a lot of people in our office out in California with some of the COVID rules, but you can go through and see different timestamps, and you can share this out, right, with the cleaning crew, with whoever may need it, just to make sure they know where they should be focusing their efforts. Because I think we all know at this point it's definitely not an inexpensive process. And you can look at the different cameras here. We'll hop into them, but anything green, and this is you can go ahead and like the live link, you can share out a live floor plan. Different methods of doing that: text, email, a link if you want to go ahead and put that in an email you're typing up. You can customize access to who, give them access to video and all features, or just live video, right? You can store people in here. So if there's a certain, maybe sheriff, fire department, maybe like a school officer that needs to be in here, then you can quickly go ahead and share this out, and then off you go. If you do share the link, emergency situation is over, right? You can go ahead and revoke access right from here, so people don't have access when they shouldn't, right? Very powerful from that standpoint. So we'll just hop in here to one of the cameras. This is one of our exterior cameras outside our front door. Again, I'm in Minnesota here. This is in California. Very easy to pull this up. You can see the live viewing up here. You can go ahead and obviously, zoom in. You can go ahead and share a live link of just the camera, kind of like with the floor plan. You can make this full screen. You can take screenshots right here. And then what we do is we've broken down everything into historical video, right? So one of the biggest things why people buy Verkada is the simplicity, right? How secure it is from a cyber perspective, getting rid of that NVR, but then also finding, saving, and sharing information, which is a couple clicks, right? So we have this in 24-hour thumbnails. We can break this down into an hour. So say if something happened, maybe, back on the 16th, the Saturday, we can go ahead and we'll filter all of this information, right down. And then now you can start to scroll through with just a cursor, and you can see like the green bounding box for people. You can see, a yellow bounding box up there where some vehicles were. And then you can go ahead and just play these out and just click on this to see kind of what was going on. You can watch this, faster, slower, pause it. You can go ahead and take a screenshot of this as well. You can go ahead and you can do multi-camera playback also with this. So a lot of you can do up to four different cameras as well. And then if you want to go ahead and save information, you can archive this. This will take it off the solid state drive on the camera. It'll put it up in your secure instance of command. We do run in the backbone of AWS across 5 availability zones. And you can have an option too to blur all faces, right? And to keep, people that maybe need to be kept, out of harm's way, with their faces blurred, we'll keep 2 copies of it. So very easy from that standpoint, very powerful from that standpoint to go ahead and scrub the information. You can hop back up to the top here like this. Very simple. A couple things to point out here is we give you all the information on the cameras too. Earliest available video. This is really big for PCI compliance if needed, or for the auditors. The site, the name, where it is. Easy to pop these down on a map. Show you the settings here. Cloud backup per camera if you want. You can schedule these backups at certain different times. We do have audio capabilities for the cameras as well. They come disabled out of the box. And then one of the other big things here too, which people love, is the audit logs too, right? Then who did what, who is accessing what. You can see I was just viewing live video, and that makes things very powerful from that standpoint to give accountability on this side of the camera, who's behind it. Crowd notifications, right? Another piece that's very big with, how to respond back with COVID, right? Having, notifications if there's more than, 6 people, more than however many people in a certain area, a certain break room, whatever it may be, right? Go ahead and get an alert sent to you or whoever you want it to be sent to, maybe a site manager, to let people, go in and remind them, hey, we got to kind of break this up. We're still not out of the woods yet. I think motion notifications too, being able to set this up across the whole screen or just part of it. And you can set these up very granular for however you need it to run for your organization, right? You can filter this too by people. So if like a box falls over, you're not getting woken up for it. Vehicles, if a deer runs across the parking lot, you're not having to, get woken up in the middle of the night, with your phone starting to buzz. So I think those are some of the really powerful things that we do. I think some of the other awesome things that we do too is from a people analytics standpoint, right? If we're looking, if something happened, we're looking to filter out, wearing a blue shirt appears to be male, you click apply. What's going to happen is we're going to start filtering out this logic here to go ahead and go through it. And then because this is a 30-day camera, we're going to be looking back, 30 days prior, and we'll start pulling up all of this information, right? If this isn't, if you're not seeing who you're looking for, you can go ahead and search, all faces. What this will do, this will pull up all of the different faces that we're seeing on this camera across, the last 30 days. So we can go ahead here and we can pick on my colleague Emily here. And now you can see this is, Emily was in the office yesterday on Monday, last Tuesday here, making it very easy picking her up here with the mask as well. And I think some of the other awesome things about this too is that if you have somebody's photo, right, somebody maybe test positive for COVID, you want to go ahead and upload their photo. Maybe they're not an employee, maybe they were a contractor, a vendor, whoever they may be, a visitor, a parent to a school, can upload their photo. You can see when they were on this camera. And then you can go ahead and again, search all cameras to see where they were, who were they encounter with. One of my customers, Deluxe Corp up here, they had a vendor who tested positive, who was in one of their Chicago offices, test positive for COVID, got a call. They were able to sort through it, the face detection across all cameras, take probably a 10 to 12 hour investigation and bring it down into a matter of 40 minutes. And that 40 minutes includes, notifying all the different people that the outside positive case was with. So a couple other things here. I think it's just powerful to filter out the logic. A couple things to show you from a notification center here is being able to see the camera status, tamper, motion, persons of interest, right? Crowd notification. Persons of interest here is pretty awesome. This is powerful from a standpoint of being able to flag people. And again, we're not using facial recognition tied to a database or anything like that. This is a face search where we have our own technology that basically measures, ear to chin, eye to nose, and being able to put these together. You can group different pictures together into one person's identity. And then you can go ahead and get a notification when you can flag people when they show up, right? I have a bank up here in Minnesota that uses this for known ATM skimmers, a gas station for the same thing with gas pumps. For schools, if certain parents shouldn't be allowed, to pick up their kids, disgruntled employees after a round of layoffs, if they shouldn't be on site, right? You go ahead and get a notification, uploaded photo, a still shot of the last seen person, and then a link to the video that was there. A couple things here with our archive as well, just to kind of highlight this. So you can keep, again, unlimited archive, unlimited everything with this, videos. That one, the faces are blurred, so maybe we'll look at trying to pull this up, but you can see you can download this to an MP4 format. You can keep a rolling set of notes here if you want. And then you can go ahead and share this as well, kind of like what we did with the live link perspective. Go ahead and give this out to the authorities, people who need it. And then again, revoking that access. It's extremely powerful, and it's extremely easy and secure way of sharing this video as well, versus just putting it on an MP4 and basically losing it to the wild, if you will. So a couple other things just to highlight here is, I think this is a great one to show. This is one of our bullet cameras here. And so along with, people analytics, we also have vehicle analytics. But let me go ahead and actually stop my, share here, and let me go ahead and just pull up our mobile app. So this is very intuitive. I think this is awesome to use. You can go ahead and click right through. It's super easy to use. You have the map. You can see the floor plans, back to the camera list. But come in here, we can have everything built right into the mobile app, as well as the browser login. So we can go ahead and do a different, a vehicle search. Want to do a car? We'll do my son's favorite. We'll do being able to pull this up on your phone and scrub information in just a matter of seconds is extremely powerful. Go ahead and apply this. And again, just like we did with the people, now it will pull up from the different vehicles. We'll start to play this history back. And if this is something that you want to go ahead and pause, things like that, you can go ahead and you can make it very easy to, share this out, do a lot of different things. Notification center is here, all of your archive is here, and then just back to home. So very powerful. You can add cameras here, so you don't have to be on your laptop as well. If you're doing an install, making it very, very easy from that perspective. I think it's always nice to highlight the mobile app. Oh, get that out of here. So now a couple other things here, just real quick, grids being able to get organized, being able to go ahead and customize this per person, go ahead and have this rotate automatically, have it, be stagnant. We do have viewing stations as well. It's basically a Mac Mini. This is great for hospitals. This is great for security operations centers. A couple of my customers have like 10 of these sitting in their physical SOC here in Minnesota. And then 2, we have license plate recognition. This has been awesome, right? This is some great advanced analytics right at the edge. And so I think what's really powerful about this too is being able to sort through different license plates, right? And this comes with Verkada too. This is just part of the licensing. It's not an extra fee. It's not an extra charge for analytics. This is great for parking garages, great for different parking lots to, help scrub information extremely fast. You can always click on and then see the associated video with it very, very quickly. Kind of pivoting over here while hopping to the admin tab for 1 second. I talked about granular users, granular access. We'll pick on Aaron here. There's org admin, site viewers, live viewer only. Again, we want to give the proper access to the proper individuals or people, no more or no less. You can even grant temporary access to people and revoke it with just a click of the button. When we look at Verkada from an access control perspective, there's some pretty cool things I like to highlight here, right? Again, we're removing the server, we're removing a SQL database, right? We're running, all of this compute power on our door controllers, that we have all of that information cached locally as well as in the cloud with command. And so you see a different, we don't have too many things tied with it, too many videos, right? Just from a privacy perspective, but this is a live feed of this. This is really designed for security operations center, kind of like a social media feed, if you will, of what's going on with badging incidents. From this standpoint, you can hop in and see some different things, all the different doors, making it organized. Click on this, I can remotely unlock this here, from whatever it may be from Minnesota. We won't do that since, I don't know who's around the corner, but if needed, you can definitely make that easy. You can see all the different events if you want to see the different week. You want to see maybe door held open events to see what was going on. Very powerful from this standpoint of just being able to point and click and see what was going on with this and what was happening. And, you can click on here to see if should this be something, we should be worried about. It looks like, the wind's holding it open here. Nothing to see, but the associated footage is right there. I think too, one of the other awesome things to see is, when people came in, who was the first person, from an access granted standpoint, and going in and kind of highlighting this. We can see when people showed up, the video of when they showed up. And, Alex, the first one in here at 4:20 this morning, getting after it in California time. And then schedules here too. Our front door is locked all the time, but you can go ahead and change this up per door, per date of when different events are happening. And again, too, kind of pivoting over to people from the schedule standpoint, we can pick on Caroline here. She's one of our enablement specialists. So you can see the history of everything that Caroline has done last week through last year, what doors, what type of events, customize that. But then you can go ahead and see what she has, access to. right? You can assign groups or you can assign privileges just to her, drop her in a couple groups. She's in the all employees, facilities, and second floor sales employees. So you can set different schedules for her, 4 different groups, so people can only come in when they're supposed to be there, right? Again, back to these pillars of preparation and response. Then certain people know only certain groups should be in the facilities, and then you are able to track it. And I'll show you the report here shortly. You can track it all from an audit standpoint. She uses our Pass app. We do have a mobile Pass app, right? And you can geo-fence this so people can just pull out their phones, open the Pass app, tap on the door that they want to open. The door opens. They don't have to deal with the key card. They don't have to touch the door, right? And you can see that she also does have a standard card, from 26-bit Wiegand. We're designed to work with about 95% of existing hardware out on the market for access control. And then one of the last things here with the access control is the reports, granular reports, being able to just customize this, pull them in a matter of a few clicks, and then off you go, download it or export it to a CSV. And we also have a lockdown button here. What I think is really unique about our lockdown is that you don't have to have it across every door across the whole facility. You can pick and choose prior to a situation of what doors will be locked down, what ones may stay open. And then obviously you at the facility only know what that is, right? And then obviously they don't let me lock down our headquarters when I'm in Minnesota. People get upset, but you can go ahead and unlock it too from the click of a button. And then one last thing here to just kind of tie things together is our environmental sensors. So these sensors here, these, like I said earlier, have been really awesome. Added in, they've been very popular for schools, for healthcare. We've had some different, healthcare manufacturers with the COVID vaccine being rolled out, putting these in different areas to make sure the temperature holds, the humidity is where it's at. But you can see, we do for, the PM is for a matter of different particular matter, measure of air pollution. You see the TVOC, that is for volatile organic compounds, right? You have a vape index. There's going to be a generation of kids that hate Verkada because they're going to get busted vaping in schools or other places where they probably shouldn't be. And then also a measure of the air quality index too. And everything, you just click and go. You can set different alerts here. For like the vape index, you can figure out who you want to be notified of that and go ahead and save it. Very, very easy to set these up. Very easy to tie it in with the native integration with our cameras. From that standpoint, the last thing to just kind of highlight here is what's new. If we're always rolling out new features and functionality, we keep it right here with links to our blog. You can see we've come out with a lot from different, new access control notifications. If you want to get notified if somebody goes into a server room every time, you can get a notification, camera footage to go with it, live audio, different blackout screens, a lot of cool stuff that we're coming out and constantly innovating on. With that being said, I'll touch just for a minute on our pricing, and then I'll tie it back for some questions. So with our pricing, we're transparent. It's on our website. It's simple. You have a cloud license associated with the camera. Different form factors of cameras have different guaranteed retention built into them. And then you just pick and choose the duration of cloud licensing, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year, depending on how you depreciate camera projects. And then what comes included with that, the 10-year product warranty, unlimited users, unlimited cloud archiving for video, all of the updates from firmware and software, as well as technical support. So I know I hopped through that fairly quickly here. Let me go ahead and bring this back. Questions afterwards, please reach out to my good friend Paul. But if there's any live questions on the line, I know we got about 5-6 minutes left.
I have a question from Edward. He was wondering, how does the system address facial recognition data state rules?
Well, we're not actually tying into any facial recognition. This is just face search. So we're not tying it into any databases. So we haven't seen any issues for any state legality at this point, whether it's schools, healthcare, or higher education.
A question from Robert. He was wondering, can the technology recognize people when they're wearing masks?
Yes. Yep. I highlighted that quickly. I may have went too fast for it, but definitely we'll work with masks. It's obviously not going to be 100% accurate, but nothing is. But definitely works with it for sure.
Question from Kathy. What happens to the video cameras if there's an internet outage?
If there's an internet outage, but they still have power, like any other camera, they'll continue to record. And then when the camera comes back online, you'll get a notification that it's back online, and then you can go ahead and log in and view the footage. If the internet goes out and you're on the same local area network, Verkada is smart enough. I forgot to mention this. My apologies. Verkada is smart enough to know that you're on the same local area network, and you can view the footage in offline mode as well.
Question from Sean. He's wondering, is there a specific customer use case that you can provide for someone using the technology for COVID-19 response?
Yeah, I mean, I would say one of the biggest customers that I have is Deluxe Corporation. I personally have managed them here in Minnesota. And I gave a little example of one of their vendors tested positive for COVID. They have to have people in certain offices because they're a publicly traded financial services company. And they have a lot of remittance centers across the United States. And for PCI compliance, people have to do their jobs in the office. And so they've tracked down, I think they've done actually 5 of them now. They've been a customer since April. And just helping identify people, just like I said, with the face search and then search across all cameras, identifying who the people were that they were in contact with, and then the outreach with it.
And he was wondering specifically about social distancing, how they, if there's a specific customer use case that may have used the technology for social distancing purposes.
Yeah, so one of the areas of United Health Group that uses us, is really big on the crowd notifications, and where we, trying to measure distance between people, especially in crowded areas, is we found not to be the best way of looking at it. But what they do is they have the crowd notification. So instead of having 6 people in a frame, if they have 4 or more people in a frame, they get a notification, and they can immediately address it with the employees that they see on the associated video with it.
Question from Laura. Do the cameras have night vision?
Absolutely. They're really good for up into about, somewhere about 30 to 40 yards, give or take. And then if you have a different reflector, if there's reflectors you can put on them as well to extend that out, if there's no other light with it.
Question from John. He is wondering, is the access control system designed to work with existing locks or locking systems?
Absolutely. It's designed to work with we work with about 95% of existing hardware out there. If the door is already electrified and the strikes and everything are in there, we're able to work typically, with all that existing. Sometimes you may need to replace the composite cable depending on how good or non-good of a job the original install was. But it's really designed to swap out the controllers and put ours in and plug the wiring in, and then you download folks from the SQL database, you upload them into Verkada, and off you go. The users will never know that a change has been made. Their cards will still work the same, and the only positive or another positive part is you can give them the Pass app, so they don't have to use the card if they don't want to.
Just one last question from Lewis. It gets pretty cold in Wisconsin, so he was wondering, what is the weather resistance like on the cameras?
Yeah, so the cameras are all rated for extremely cold temperature. I mean, they're IK 67s. They work to about 40 below temperature. They have built-in cameras. They've built-in heaters that will kick on at about 33 degrees. So, I mean, I have a camera outside my house. I live in Minnesota. We have these in Alaska. We have them across Canada. We have 60 school districts plus in Wisconsin that are using these outdoor and indoor. So definitely able to withstand that.
All right, I'm not seeing any other questions, so I think we can start wrapping things up.
Awesome. Well, Kenzie, thank you for the questions. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us here today. Please, I have my good friend Paul's email up here. I'll leave it up for a little bit. Email him with any questions, follow-ups. A lot of people like to do a little bit more of a specific, dive into the technology, after seeing this high level. But hopefully this was enjoyable, and hopefully you like what you saw. And please stick around please fill out the post survey in the webinar, and we'll send you out the gift. I hope everybody has a wonderful Tuesday.
Thanks, David.
Thanks.
We'll send that post-webinar survey out via email. Probably within the next hour or so.
Perfect. Thanks, Mackenzie.
Hurry so everybody can get their Yetis.
Sounds good. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. Thanks Verkada for presenting. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We could do a demo, get you one of the demo units as well in your hands. But appreciate everyone's time today, and be on the lookout for that post-event follow-up survey. Also have recorded today's webinar so you can share it with colleagues, as well as we're happy to do a customized demo for your organization based on your use case for door security sensors or these cameras themselves, obviously as well. Thanks everyone. Have a great rest of your week.